She drove south out of Philadelphia that morning. 2 sons with her, Carl was 4. She arrived without them, no one asked. The midnight paradigm. No missing persons report was ever filed. It took 53 years and science not yet born. The case stayed open through entire careers. The killers were the only ones who could report him. By the time it was solved, both suspects were dead. We spent weeks with the forensic documentation. June 13th, 1972 was an ordinary morning in Lorton. A 14-year-old was riding his bicycle to a gas station. His route crossed the Old Colchester Road Bridge. He looked over the railing at the water below. A nude child below, no clothing, no shoes. Estimated age, 3 to 6 years old, under 6 hours. Cause of death, blunt force trauma to the head. Dr. Claude Cooper's autopsy found more than cause of death. Multiple healing cuts, older injuries, evidence of prolonged abuse. He had food in his stomach, fed before killed. This was not impulsive. What was done was deliberate. Fairfax County searched the entire eastern seaboard for a report. According to investigators, the child seemed not to exist. Born, lived, suffered. No record of any of it. The Charlites, an Alexandria civic organization, stepped forward. They buried him and named him Charles Lee Charlotte. Named for the organization that cared, not who he was. He was buried at Coleman Cemetery in Alexandria. The file went into a drawer. John Lorton Doe stayed. 8 years passed. Vera Bryant died in 1980. What strikes us most, Hedgepath had killed before. He had a murder conviction from 1962, a decade earlier. He served time, was released, met Vera. 2 children died. The system released a killer. He killed again. We will return to Hedgepath. First, the investigation. Thread 1. Community trying to give him an identity. In 2003, NCMEC created Virginia's first computer facial reconstruction. That reconstruction went national. 5,000 tips came in. More tips than any other Virginia case. None were correct. 5,000 tips, not one of them was correct. Thread 2. The forensic science that kept falling short. In 2004, the FBI extracted mitochondrial DNA from the hair. Mitochondrial DNA traces only the maternal line, a partial map. No national database match. The technology had hit its ceiling. The case was listed in NAMUS as up 10,859. In 2013, NCMEC's Team Adam revisited with Fairfax County officials. The solution they needed, exhumation, was blocked. Thread 3. The storm that erased his grave. The 2012 derecho struck Virginia with hurricane-force winds. The marker over Carl's grave at Coleman was destroyed. Poor 1,972 records meant the grave location was permanently lost. Erased first by his killers, then by the earth itself. In 2016, investigators attempted exhumation. It was abandoned. For the first time, there was no physical path forward. Thread 4. The family who thought Carl was safe. By Thanksgiving 1972, Vera said, "The boys are with relatives." The family accepted Vera's story. She died in 1980. The extended family never reported Carl missing either. This is a systemic observation, not a judgment. Abused children disappear in family silences before reaching authorities. Here is the detail that changes everything about this case. Someone preserved something at every point. The hair was kept. Failed DNA, failed exhumation destroyed grave, the hair remained. By 2021, testing had reduced it to near nothing. Quote, little specks like razor stubble, not even 2 millimeters. She sent those specks to Astrea Forensics in California. Astrea works exclusively on rootless hair. Few labs do. Their standard request, 2 centimeters of hair with intact root. Wallace had fragments with no root, under 2 millimeters total. Astrea's response to Detective Wallace, send it anyway. What happened next is why Carl Bryant has a name. Astrea used forensic-grade genome sequencing on rootless hair. Not mitochondrial DNA, a full SNP profile. SNP profiling reads hundreds of thousands of genetic markers. It generates a profile compatible with genealogy databases. The profile entered GEDmatch, a public genealogy database. Top match, approximately 700 centimorgans of shared DNA. 700 centimorgans indicates a first cousin, unusually strong. Most cold cases begin with 4th or 5th cousins. Innovative forensic investigations performed the genealogy analysis. The investigators followed the maternal branch to Philadelphia. Lisa was identified as the top DNA match. A first cousin match pointed to Lisa's mother, Carol. The analysis recommended contact Carol for a reference DNA sample. Wallace and Long drove to Philadelphia. Carol didn't know why. According to NCMEC documentation, they knocked on a Philadelphia door. Carol provided a buccal swab, consistent with a biological aunt. Consistent with, the child was likely her nephew. Carol identified the child as likely Carl Bryant, Vera's son. The family had accepted Vera's story. They never knew. To confirm definitively, investigators needed Vera Bryant's DNA. Vera had died in 1980. Investigators located her burial site. In 2023, the Philadelphia Medical Examiner's Office performed the exhumation. The first DNA extraction attempt failed, samples not viable. Even at this final stage, the evidence resisted. Vera had been dead 43 years. Extraction is not guaranteed. This is a forensic limitation other accounts glossed over. A second attempt was made, April 2025. Astrea applied genome sequencing to Vera's remains. The second extraction succeeded. Vera confirmed as Carl's biological mother. The timeline collapsed. A Philadelphia boy driven south discarded. Carl Matthew Bryant, born May 26, 1968 in Philadelphia. He died June 13, 1972, 18 days past his birthday. July 1, 2025, John Lorton Doe officially became Carl Bryant. August 4, Fairfax County Police Chief Kevin Davis announced publicly. Wallace at the podium, he can finally have his name. A gravestone, a name. The family knows where he is. Chief Davis credited detective persistence across 53 years. But there is a question Davis did not answer publicly. Carl had a brother, 6 months old, never came back. James Bryant has never been found. The search continues. Police believe James was murdered along the Philadelphia, Virginia route. Police stated the baby may have been discarded en route. James may have survived, given away, quietly adopted. If he survived, a 50-something man may not know. The tools that found Carl could find James too. Now, the systemic question this case forces us to examine. How many Carl Bryants wait in cold case files? According to NCMEC, thousands of unidentified children remain in files. Rootless hair DNA sequencing wasn't viable at scale before 2020. Every year the technology improves, more cases become solvable. Now, the evidence quality assessment this case deserves. The identification is confirmed, the maternal link double confirmed. What remains uncertain: who struck the fatal blow and where. Both primary suspects, Vera and Hedgepath, are deceased. Formal legal justice is permanently closed in this case. This is an honest truth forensic genealogy must accept. The technology identifies, courts adjudicate, when perpetrators die first. Identification alone becomes the justice available. Carol Schweitzer of NCMEC documented the broader significance here. Quote, persistence, collaboration, unwavering hope made this possible. This case made forensic history beyond the identification itself. NCMEC used this case for Virginia's first facial reconstruction. This nameless boy helped pioneer technology, identifying hundreds after him. In 1972, his name was borrowed, then science returned it. Carl Matthew Bryant, born 1968, died June 13, 1972. Philadelphia-born, Virginia buried, named by strangers, renamed by science. When we first read this case, one detail stopped us. Food in his stomach. He was fed before he died. Dr. Cooper documented this in 1972. Few accounts highlighted it. This single detail indicates deliberate planning, not impulsive violence. Someone fed Carl, then killed him. That required planning. Hedgepath's 1962 murder conviction is publicly documented in court records. Convicted of murder in 1962, released. 2 more children died. We assert only what the record supports. It supports this. The system knew what Hedgepath had done. He was released. This is, in our assessment, an institutional and measurable failure. Carl Bryant is in find a grave, his name restored. Information about James Bryant, Fairfax County Police are looking. What does Carl's case mean for hundreds still unnamed? The science is ready. The question is whether funding follows. Astrea succeeded on an NCMEC grant. Someone fought for that. The case was up 10,859. That listing is now updated. Carl Matthew Bryant, not up 10,859, not Charles Lee Charlotte. A child who deserved to grow up, he did not. We don't know everything between Philadelphia and that creek. The record is silent. Any narrator who fills it speculates. What we know, a 4-year-old murdered, his killers never charged. His name was returned by science and one detective's persistence. His brother James remains unanswered. That search has not ended. Worth your time, subscribe, more cases await.